Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Donna, and for those of you not new, thank you so much for continuing to come back to my channel and support me and love me. I just love you guys so very much, every single one of you. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I know that you don't have to, so it warms my heart so very much that you do. Today I am doing a video that I haven't ever really done, but I want to make it a new series on my channel. I used to do some anti-hauls. I think I have like 3 of them out there, and I found them to be like super negative, and honestly I should do a video on products that I have anti-hauled yet then purchased. So I didn't really feel like being a liar. So I am going to start a series on my channel called Makeup Release Mayhem. Just basically that we're talking about new makeup releases, whether I am intrigued by them, whether I might buy them, whether I definitely won't buy them, kind of in an anti-haul, you know, spirit, but also in a will I buy it spirit, which is a series of videos that I watch all the time by Miss Samantha March. She actually is an amazing YouTuber that I fell in love with back when she had maybe 3,000 subscribers and now has like a ton. And she started the Will I Buy It series a long time ago, and it's since got such a following, like the Kimberly Clark anti-hauls got such a following that she created a page where her and her friends do these will I buy it's, and she adds them to this, what is it, group on her page of her and her friends that do them. I am not Samantha March's friend. I'm not even going to pretend that I am Samantha March's friend, but I absolutely love her and I am enamored by her, and I want to do something in the spirit of a will I buy it, because anti-hauls typically can get a little bit negative, and I hate feeling like a liar when I anti-haul something and then it ends up in my collection later. So we are going to talk about some new makeup releases today. So in addition to being inspired by Samantha March, I also am gathering my information from Trend Mood. If you guys are unfamiliar with her Instagram, she has an Instagram where she like dumps all these new releases into it and basically is the first in the know person on Instagram about new releases. I also am a follower of a channel called, a page on Instagram called Indie Makeup Spotlight, because I've been trying to get into more indie makeup lately, and that is ran by Amy Loves Makeup, who is another Instagram page. So I'll have some information linked about her Instagram in my description box as well. Those are the 2 pages that I'm going to for information for my videos, just because Trend Mood has most of the mainstream stuff, and then Indie Makeup Spotlight has most of the indie stuff. Sometimes the 2, well, never does Indie Makeup Spotlight, as far as I can tell, have mainstream brand information on it, but sometimes Trend Mood will have, you know, indie brand on hers. So I'm just going through the Instagram pages and we're going to talk about those items, but I am not going through like day for day, because I notice things as I noticed them, and I'm going to talk to them in order of how I notice them and what I think about them. I will, of course, scooch over so I can put some pictures up here for you, and when I'm looking down, I'm actually looking on my phone. So the first thing I want to talk about is the ABH release of the Riviera palette. So this shows you the Riviera palette, and while I love the colors in this palette, I don't know if I'm going to pick it up, and I'll tell you why. The swatches that I saw of this are just, they're not speaking to me as much as I thought that they would. This palette is stunning. On the outside, I love the blue and white theme to it. I love the fact that it really does speak to the Riviera. I don't know much about the Riviera. I've never been there, but when you think of Riviera, like these colors and the like sailor-esque stripes are what come to mind in my opinion. I think like flags, and I think like sailor flags, you know, and the different like brighter colors. And this really does have that in it. But the swatches did not necessarily speak to me. Like the gray shimmer on top is not necessarily as beautiful as I'd want it to be. It is more gray. I would think it needed to be a little more purple. I would love to see like a teal blue matte in here. And there was a video that I watched by Annette of Annette's Makeup Corner, which I'll link her channel down there as well, or her video anyways, of her reconstructing this palette. I love her reconstruction of this palette. I may or may not pick it up. I do love me some Ebates shadows, but I don't have Soft Glam. I purchased that one for my daughter. It just didn't speak to me. I don't have Sultry because I'm just not into the cool tone vibe that palette gave off. I do love the colors in this, but I don't know. I just am unsure that this is a palette I would honestly get a whole lot of use out of, because I feel like I have these colors over and over and over again in my collection, except for maybe that teal blue shimmer, which is called I'm not sure, Seychelles. Seychelles. I mean, it looks like it should say seashells, but it doesn't. That Mediterranean color, I believe I have in a Sydney Grace single. I don't know. I don't know that I will pick this up. That is what I'm going to say about that. And it actually, I believe it was available as of March 4th. So I probably will wait, look at a few, you know, look at a few tutorials using it, wait till it comes to Ulta, and then I'll think about it. I really want to touch it. I really want to see it in person. Sometimes that's what it takes. The next thing I have on here is by Huda Beauty. It is the Huda Beauty Melted Shadows. It looks like they are dual-ended with a matte on one side and a shimmer on the other. Like, I don't know if I love these, to be honest. I am not hugely a liquid eyeshadow person. I do have several. I love my Stila Glitter and Glows. Love those, but they get fallout all over my face, so I don't typically wear them very often. I'm not really sure that I'll pick these up. I think that they're beautiful. I love that mint green one. That mint green one is so pretty. It's called Minted, and the shimmer is Dinero. I just am not into liquid shadows, so I probably won't be picking those up. They are $25 each, which isn't bad for two separate eyeshadows, if I'm being honest. You pay $24 for a Stila glitter, so that's really not that bad. And Huda is typically a more expensive brand, not luxury, but a more expensive of the high-end brands, so that's actually shocking. But I will probably not purchase those. The matte formula is supposed to be dry, and are supposed to dry down to a waterproof powder finish, and I'm just not really sure about the whole waterproofness of it, but whatever. The metal part is glittery with a quick dry finish, which is all fine and good, because you want something quick dry when you put like a liquid glitter on your eyelids, so that you're not sitting there with your eyes closed for eternity. But at the same time, like, I'm wondering if they're going to like fall all over your face. I'm not really sure when these come out. I'm not seeing actually a date on these. They might already be out. I'm not for positive. The next thing I have is the new Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette. You guys, this palette is beautiful. This palette is beautiful. And if I were into contour palettes, I would certainly purchase it. But I feel like I have contour palettes that I never touch because I just cannot use all the shades in them. Even my Kat Von D Shade and Light contour kit, like two of the shadows, or two of the contours, two of the powders are completely gone. I have 4 powders left in there that will probably never get used up, and I feel like it's a giant waste. This is beautiful, but I feel like it's a waste. It's a waste. I love, however, that they are repackaging. Almost everything that they're coming out with right now is in this beautiful, like, luxurious feel packaging that is just amazing. But, like, I would probably use, like, the 2 shades, the 4 shades on the, and maybe that white powder. But that really light bronzer powder, that light contour shade, I would probably never use. I feel like you shouldn't purchase contour palettes because I understand, like many other people, they're trying to hit every skin tone and make something as versatile as it can be so that people will want to buy it. But when people really sit down and think about it, are they going to use every single thing in this palette? No. Then why spend that kind of money for it? And it is a spring or summer launch. It says spring 2019, summer 2019. So I'm not sure when this is coming out. The next thing I have on here is the MAC Spring Collection. So this is a beautiful photo of this collection. I'm not into lipsticks, so lipsticks was never something that I was going to buy. However, that Wagasa Twirl shade, the one that's kind of like right there in the middle, no. It's like the second one, right next to the like really pretty pink color. That is a beautiful shade. I feel like the swatches did it a whole lot of justice. But the thing that I really wanted, was that pink highlight. And it's actually listed on here as a blush topper called Floreal. And I really loved it. It had this like beautiful ombre effect. It's got like this gorgeous shimmer to it. But then I watched, oh my gosh, what is their channel name? I cannot remember their channel name. I watch them all the time. They deconstruct items and then put them back together. What is their channel name? Anyways, I watched them take one of these powders, the pink one specifically, because they were told that that shimmeriness on it is an overspray. I will link that video down in my description box. It is totally an overspray and it comes off so quickly, and then you're just left with this pink powder, and I can't see myself ever using that. So I will not be picking anything up in this collection. While I believe that the eyeshadows in this collection are pretty, I also believe that these are colors that I have over and over again in my collection, and I don't need a new MAC Fix Plus just because it has little floating heart petals all over it. So this is called the Boom Boom Bloom collection. The next thing I have on my list is the Makeup Forever Let's Gold. Yes. Let's Gold palette. So this palette is really pretty. I have to say it is super pretty, but I've never tried Makeup Forever shadows, and mostly because their singles are super expensive. But I feel like I don't love this palette. It is pretty, but it is such just a neutral tone to it all. There's like the warmer shades, there looks to be cooler shades in here, but I don't see anything in this palette that actually speaks to me, and I really kind of hate the wasted space of it all. Like, they could have fit in at least 3 more shadows, in my opinion. Maybe another pop of color or something. I don't know. I just don't think that it is anything exciting. And like, when I think of Makeup Forever, that's really honestly kind of where I sit with them. They're not a brand that I want to run out and purchase? Hardly ever. So this palette is definitely not on my list. The next one I have on here is a BH Cosmetics new Zodiac palette. It is for Pisces. I'm not a Pisces. I don't have really anybody in my life to speak of that is a Pisces that I feel like I need this palette for. Like, I'm anxious to see what their Virgo one is because I'm a Virgo and we're kind of like crazy ass people. And I feel like the Virgo one should be all color with like a pop of neutral in there. But like, it just doesn't speak to... I do like the blues in here. The two blues that are in this palette are pretty. I think that they're not that bad, but they're definitely... It doesn't remind me of Pisces. I don't know why it doesn't remind me of Pisces. I don't know what would remind me of Pisces, but this palette just isn't it. I do love the BH Cosmetics formula these days. I think that they're amazing formulas, and right now you can get this palette for like $9 or something like that. I think it's still available for $9 right now. The regular price of it will be $14, but again, the wasted space thing. Like, I don't understand why all the wasted space in these palettes. Like, why not come up with a smaller palette and make it look different and situate the pans differently so that you're using all the space in a palette instead of using all this space. And honestly, it doesn't appear that there are shade names in here, and they definitely could have put shade names in here. I do like, however, that it has a mirror. I mean, I think that that's great. But truth be told, none of these Zodiac palettes has actually spoken to me since the first two big Zodiac palettes, and I don't even own those. So I won't be picking that up, I'm certain. The next thing I want to talk about is the new Viseart Petite Pros. So there are two different palettes. They are the Petite Pro Soleil, which is the one with the purples and the reds in it, and then the apricotine. I'm not sure. That's the peachy neutral one. I love that Soleil one. So Viseart has a matte formula that I love. I love it so much. It blends without even you having to think about blending it. I mean, it literally blends itself as far as I'm concerned. Their shimmers, I'm not sure. I don't like the shimmers in my Sultry Muse palette, but I've heard that their shimmers these days are awesome. So I would be willing to pick up that Soleil one because it is just, oh my god, it's so pretty. And they came available on March 1st at Beautylish and Viseart. So I'm gonna wait until they come to Sephora. Maybe if they come to Sephora, I don't know. I might not wait. I might pick up that palette. The thing about Viseart though is they're super expensive, but they're super worth it. Like, I feel like their shadows are really above par. So the next one I want to talk about is the Violet Voss Sugar Crystals palette. So you guys, if you know my channel, you know that I am real fond of the Violet Voss formula. She's one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas, and I just love the palettes I have from her. But I am not impressed with this palette, and I don't really know what it is. I have seen, again, Annette's Makeup Corner. She has it, and she recently just posted a video using it, just like a first impressions makeup playtime type video using it. She'll probably do a 3 looks 1 palette, 10 looks 1 palette, something like that. She's just amazing like that. But I wasn't impressed. It's 2 rows of shimmers, 2 6-pan rows of shimmers, and none of them are spectacular, if I have to be honest. Watching her video, I was just like, wow, those all kind of look like the same color on your lid. There's no opacity to them, so they're just super sheer shimmers, and I'm not into that. I have her Flamingo palette, which has shimmers in it, which are amazing shimmers. So I know that the formula is not bad. I'm just, and you virtually have zero fallout with her palettes as far as I'm concerned. Every palette I've used by her, there's virtually no fallout, and the pigmentation is just amazing. But my friend Lisa tagged me in this, and I was like, yes, that is beautiful. And then she tagged me in a picture of the swatches, and I was like, nope, that seems not up my alley. I'm not into that. And she felt the same way. So that came out on the 26th. It is currently out. I probably will not be picking that one up either. The next one I want to talk about is the Morphe, what is this called? Dripping Bronze palette. So I'm not a huge fan of Morphe. Y'all know I'm not a huge fan of Morphe. I do have some Morphe palettes. I am just not their biggest fan. I also have Morphe brushes. I'm just not, you know, I'm not their biggest fan. And the reason why I'm not their biggest fan is because of palettes like this, honestly. It's all like this monochromatic like theme to it. It does have some like pretty pinks and reds in there. There appears to be a blue in there, but the rest of it is just brown and different shades of brown. And while I enjoy a brown, I am not a huge neutral color fanatic, so I don't do a whole lot of neutral eye looks, and I feel like that is all that you would get out of this palette. There's that one shade like 2 in from the second row from the bottom, or in the second row from the bottom, that looks like a really pretty like chartreusey shimmer. That might be a pretty shade, but I really feel like the only looks that you're going to get from this palette are looks that are brown in neutral in nature, and with a pop. So my friend Tanya just picked up this palette, so I'll have to ask her how that goes, but that's what I feel like you're going to get with this palette, so I'm not picking that up. The next collection I want to talk about is actually the Ciate and Jessica Rabbit collection. I saw this when I was scrolling through Trend Mood this morning, actually. And I think that this is so cute. And I actually have seen Roger Rabbit. I don't watch very many cartoony movies. I don't watch any cartoons, to be honest. I have too many kids, and I would be watching that's all I would ever watch. But back in the day, when I was a kid, this movie was like that cross between cartoons and real life, and it was just so iconic. It was just such a great movie, and I love Jessica Rabbit. She was the epitome of bombshell back then, even though she was a cartoon. I love this collection. I think it's pretty, but this palette, honestly, if I purchase anything, it'll probably be that highlighter in the cute little compact. I just think that the highlighter is gorgeous, and it says it's a soft focus highlighting powder for a scene stealing glow, and it has Jessica Rabbit stamped in it. I think that it's beautiful, and that would probably be what I picked up. But I do have several highlights in my collection, so I'm not even sure that I'll do that. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. My friend JC tagged me in this because she knows, because we know each other in real life, that my skin is super dry. And if you guys are familiar with my channel or have been around for a while, you also know that my skin is super dry. So this is a primer that is hydrating and long wear. Let's see. It's hemp-derived cannabis seed oil, hydrates to plump and smooth for blissed out skin, and it has blue agave extract for an invisible layer to lock in makeup all day, smooths skin's texture and creates an even canvas and seals in moisture. It is oil-free, silicone-free, and green tinted. Goes on clear to work across all skin tones and types. This looks amazing to me. The only thing that stops me from potentially picking it up is if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know that I have tried the Milk Makeup hemp seed oil mascara that kills my eyes. I don't know what's in it that causes my eyeballs to want to burn out my face, but I would be terrified that that is also in this and it would break out my skin. But I am super interested in trying this because A, it looks cool. It reminds me of like ectoplasm from from Ghostbusters. But also the fact that it's supposed to lock in hydration just makes me want to purchase it for that reason alone, because my skin is just super dry. So I'm interested in trying that. I will probably pick it up if I could get it in like a little deluxe sample size. Milk often does little tiny sample versions of their items. I will probably do that first, but it's only $30, so that's really not that bad, honestly, for a primer. My Laura Geller primer that is my Holy Grail primer is typically $32. So I'm not opposed to spending $30 on a primer. However, it appears to be a spray, but it's available on the 8th. So I'm excited to think about trying that. It's available at Sephora and Milk Makeup on the 8th. And then March 12th, it'll be available in UK and Ireland at Cult Beauty. The next thing I have on here, I just passed it, is this. It is the Smashbox and the Hood Witch collection. So we all know how I felt about my Smashbox Cover Shot palette in my last, not my last palette roulette, but the palette roulette before that, I believe, as you're watching this. I am not interested in that. I'm not interested in what those appear to be as liquid eyeshadows. I do love me some primer waters, but I've been having a horrible time with my Smashbox primer water over there, so I probably won't try that either. What is drawing my attention is this beautiful diamond cut highlight, and that seems to be the theme of the collabs I'm mentioning. Like, this highlight is so pretty. I might pick up that highlight. I think the packaging looks really cool too. Like, it just looks like gem cut on the outside. It looks really cool. So I might try that highlight, but I don't know about the rest of it. What do you guys think about the rest of it? I'm not into the Cover Shot formula. I don't like it at all. I have two Smashbox palettes that I absolutely love. They were some of the first palettes that I ever purchased, but that Cover Shot that I used last, maybe it's just the Cabana one, but I hated it. I hated every minute of trying to use that palette. So I probably will not be picking anything in this collection up except for that highlight, potentially. So the next thing I have in here is this Too Faced Better Than Sex eyeliner. So this is a liquid eyeliner. I have a Too Faced sketch marker that I am not a fan of, to be honest. But this says it is a dual fiber brush, so it's a brush tip, and the sketch markers are felt, and I don't have the best time with felt markers. But also, it is a brown, and I just don't feel like it's pigmented enough to show up above or on top of my shadows, which is why I don't like it. But this is a brush tip, which I love. 24-hour non-fading long wear, waterproof, flake-proof, non-smudging, which is phenomenal because I always smudge out here and it drives me freaking bonkers. Easy glide formula. It doesn't tug or skip for a perfect line. Intense pigment load for the deepest black possible. I'm interested in trying this, actually. And this says coming soon. That's all that's on it. It just says coming soon, so I'm not sure when it will come. I'm not a huge fan of the Better Than Sex formula for their mascaras, but I'd be interested in trying this. I'm always in it for a perfect, awesome, beautiful liquid liner that helps me get a damn good wing without actually having to try to get a damn good wing. Currently, it would have to it would have to beat out my It Cosmetics Superhero Liner, because that is my holy grail right now. But I'd be willing to try it. So on the indie end, that wasn't mentioned on Trend Mood, there are two things that I want to talk about. There is this palette by Love Lux Beauty, and I desperately want this palette. This is so pretty. Her Instagram also has like codes that you can use to get, you know, dollars off of your purchase, kind of like that of Trend Moods. So you can get dollars off your purchase, and this kind of interests me because there's those, what, 2 shadows, maybe 2.5 shadows that have like this kind of like wonky look to them. They almost look bad, but we felt that way about the Huda Beauty New Nudes too, that came out with those shadows in them, those cream shadows in them with the giant like crystals of pigmentation or whatever they were. So I'd be interested, and I love the color story of this. That green is so pretty, and that really deep purple on the end, oh my god, I want that palette so bad. The other one that I kind of went back and forth with when she first came out with her inspired palette, the Affinity 2 by Certify. You guys will know what I'm talking about. She at first, when she's first thinking about a palette, she throws it out there in a, you know, put together version, but it's all computer generated, so it wasn't actually a palette. But it is the Affinity 2. It's by Certify, and it is beautiful. And right now it's up for sale on pre-order, and she will ship it after April 18th. You guys, I want this palette so bad. Greens, again, my favorite color. Those blues are just beautiful blues, and blues are not easy to do, but those it looks like she perfected them. And then there's that one white shade down at the bottom that is like this real pearlescent, like blue purple shift to it, and then the one right next to it that's like a green blue shift. Oh my god, I want this palette so bad. This might be my first palette from Certify. So hey, oh my gosh, we made it through it. I am so sorry, you guys. This video might be a long one. Welcome to my makeup release mayhem video series. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know that you did by giving me a big thumbs up. It really does help our channels out here, and I really hope that you did love it. If you enjoyed the content today, or enjoyed me enough that you're considering subscribing, I would love having you along for this ride. I upload content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Sunday, depending on how my work week goes. And I am still super active in my comments section and would hope to see you down there. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you're having an awesome week, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, guys.